Hey guys, welcome to another video. I really appreciate you joining. If you enjoy the content of this video, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in more of my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Today, I'm going to do a which shoe for you comparison between two of my favorite max cushioned trainers. I use them primarily for long runs, and they both have some good foam, bouncy foam that makes them good even for racing long races. My shoes are the Go Run Maxroad 5 from Skechers and the Altra Vanish Tempo from Altra. They are both considered max cushion shoes. They both have worked really well for me and have some really good features, so I just wanted to talk about some of the differences and why you might want to choose one over the other. I'll start off because I've owned the Maxroad 5s for a good bit longer. I have close to 300 miles on them. They are definitely showing some wear, but I think I'll still get them to probably 350 miles or so, which is typical for me. Your mileage may vary. Some people are a lot more efficient in their foot strike and get more miles, and then there are some people that are maybe real heavy foot strikers that don't even go quite as far. But these have been a typical length shoe for me as far as distance go, but they are very much a high cushioned, lightweight shoe for the amount of cushion they have. These have a 6mm drop. They are 39mm of stack height in the heel, 33mm of stack height in the forefoot. Very well cushioned. They've got their Hyperburst foam, which is a very bouncy, good feeling foam. Because there's so much foam, I find them very comfortable for long runs, but that Hyperburst is extremely bouncy, so you're able to really pick up the pace. They improved these shoes a lot in that the upper is very breathable. The lockdown is good. I like that they have a heel tab. They have Goodyear rubber on the outsole, which is supposed to make the pods last longer. I'm still finding a typical sort of wear length for me. And these sell for $130. I have really enjoyed the shoes, and I really enjoy them for long runs. Now they are, with the Hyperburst, they're pretty good for picking up the pace, so you can run easily in a tempo run. They're also going to be good for running fairly quick for a long run. They have a carbon infused H plate in the front, so it's kind of a carbon fiber plate, but just a partial one. And that may add a little bit of bounciness. I haven't really noticed so much that. The Hyperburst is so bouncy anyway. But the previous version of this shoe was pretty unstable because the stack height is so high. It was fairly unstable. Well, the H plate has definitely helped with the stability. I can now corner pretty well in these and feel confident. So these have been actually very good shoes. I've really enjoyed them. The other shoe is the newer Altra Vanish Tempo. It's considered the companion shoe to the Altra Vanish Carbon that they just came out recently. Again, extremely breathable, light upper. I would say it's even a little thinner than the one on the Skechers. It still locks down well. The tongue fits well. No problems with fit for me. These are zero drop because that's what Altra does. It has a foot-shaped toe box. This has their slim fit though, so it's going to be kind of comparable, I think, in width to the Skechers. But it's a 33mm stack height in the heel and 33mm stack height in the forefoot. This one has their Ego Pro midsole, and it's got rocker technology that helps you kind of roll through the foot strike. So again, this is a very high cushion shoe, but it's got some pop because the Ego Pro midsole and the rocker technology, rocker geometry, really makes this feel like a pretty quick shoe too. In a men's size 9, the Skechers Maxroad 5 is listed at 8.7 ounces. On the Altra website, they list this one at 8.2 ounces. Based on my scale, I think this one actually weighs closer to 9 ounces unless you remove the insole. So they're actually very similar weighted shoes, kind of a toss-up. If you take out the insole, these are a little bit lighter than the Maxroad 5s. If you leave your insole in, I think they're just very slightly heavier, at least in my size. So very similar. These seem to have a good outsole rubber. I haven't put as many miles. I've put 100K in these so far because they are a newer shoe. But they, again, I'm guessing they're going to be an average wear shoe for me in the 300 to 500 mile range as well. Now, one of the big things about these that is the cost is very high. These are $190, so these are pretty pricey shoes. So when I go compare the two, to me they're very common, very similar sort of use cases in that I'm going to use them for long runs and for longer races where I want to go a little bit faster, but I don't necessarily want to have a carbon plate the whole time. So performance-wise, they're very similar in a lot of ways. I will say stability-wise, I prefer the Altra Vanish Tempo. I think it's probably the zero drop platform, and also the fact that it's a 33 millimeters in the front and 33 in the back, whereas this one goes up to 39 in the back, which makes you feel a little less stable. They have improved the stability a lot in these Maxroad 5s though, compared to their previous version because of that H plate. So they're still a fairly stable shoe. I just don't think they're quite as stable as the Vanish Tempos. I think they're both quick shoes. I think you feel the rocker technology slightly more in the Vanish Tempos. Both foams are very, very bouncy and propulsive. I think the step-in feel is the Vanish Tempos are slightly softer, whereas the Maxroad 5s are gonna feel a little bit firmer, but they both give you great protection in a long run, and they both are pretty propulsive, so I enjoy them both. Why to choose one shoe over the other? The Maxroad 5, if you are not into zero drop shoes, a 6 millimeter stack height rear heel to toe drop is good for most people. It's not something you need to be that transition to. So that's a big advantage of the Maxroad 5s. Another big advantage of the Maxroad 5s is they retail for $130, whereas these Vanish Tempos are $190. So that's a pretty big difference in cost. A reason to prefer the Vanish Tempos is I do really think, they're even a little airier for out in the heat. I do think they do feel a little more stable with the zero drop platform. Those are my primary takes for these. So anyway, both shoes work great. The decision is up to you. More expensive, less expensive, they're both good performing shoes. A little more stable, probably a little bit better in the heat, but they're both really good, and they're both really good for lockdown. Anyway, that is pretty much it as far as my comparison.